Welcome to Stoic Pulse, where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism ignites a life of strength, virtue, and purpose. With Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus as our guides, we uncover transformative rules and lessons to master your soul and command respect. If you're ready to reclaim your worth and radiate unshakable presence, stay with us. This journey will hold you to the final moment. Respect isn't won through words or pleas. It's forged in the boundaries you uphold. The Stoics knew that every compromise, tolerating slights, chasing approval, erodes your soul, leaving you diminished. As Seneca taught, as is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters. Imagine facing a cutting remark at work, yet standing firm, your stoic calm commanding attention. That's the power of boundaries, the quiet strength that inspires awe. Today we unveil 5 stoic secrets to protect your soul and earn respect effortlessly. These aren't tactics but virtues, rooted in timeless philosophy, designed to rebuild what's been lost. From relationships to rivalries, each boundary makes you a man others admire. Don't miss a second. Your worth depends on it. Like, share, and comment. Type, "I choose my soul." Subscribe, and hit the bell for daily Stoic wisdom. Stay stoic, and let's forge your strength together. Boundary 1. Always be willing to walk away. Our journey to embody Stoic respect begins with a boundary that cuts through fears and compromise. Always be willing to walk away. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This boundary isn't about abandoning others. It's about loyalty to your soul. A Stoic doesn't cling to what diminishes him. He steps boldly toward what aligns with his purpose. Respect slips away when you stay where your worth is ignored. Every moment you linger in a toxic job, a hollow friendship, or a relationship that demands you shrink, you trade your soul for comfort. The world tests your resolve, and those who sense you won't leave exploit it. They push, knowing you'll bend. But the man who walks away, calmly without drama, commands respect. His presence says, "I am not chained to your approval." Consider Arjun, a software engineer trapped in a draining startup. His ideas were dismissed, his hours exploited, yet he stayed, fearing financial ruin. Each compromise dulled his spark, and colleagues stopped valuing his input. One day, Arjun reflected on Aurelius's words, "External events don't define you, your choices do." He drafted his resignation, not in anger, but with quiet resolve. When he left, his former team's sudden respect followed, but Arjun had already reclaimed his soul. His new path, though uncertain, radiated purpose, drawing opportunities and admiration he'd never known. This boundary is Stoic courage in action. Walking away doesn't mean recklessness. It means refusing to betray your standards. It's saying, "I love you, but I love my soul more." Women, colleagues, friends, they feel this strength. A man who clings is tested endlessly, his boundaries probed until he breaks. But a man who walks away forces others to meet his standards. He demands nothing, yet commands everything. Warning signs of misalignment are subtle but clear. Does your workplace dismiss your contributions, leaving you justifying your worth? Do friends drain your energy with constant complaints, offering nothing in return? In relationships, do you feel like you're auditioning for approval, your efforts met with indifference? These are cracks in your soul's foundation. Ignore them, and they widen. A Stoic notices, reflects, and acts. Here's how you apply this boundary. First, know your standards. What values define you? Honesty, respect, purpose? Write them down. Let them be your compass. Second, assess your environment. Does it honor those values or demand you compromise? If it's the latter, prepare to leave. This isn't impulsive. Plan your exit. Save resources, build skills, or seek new connections. But don't stay where you're diminished. Third, act with stoic calm. When the moment comes, walk away without rage or explanation. A simple, "This no longer aligns with my path," suffices. Your silence speaks louder than arguments. Aurelius reminds us that external events, others' opinions, fleeting comforts, aren't ours to control. Your power lies in your choices. Walking away is a choice to prioritize peace over familiarity, purpose over validation. It's not cold, it's sacred. Every step you take from misalignment sharpens your edge, deepens your presence. People notice. The wrong ones retreat, unable to manipulate a man who values himself. The right ones, those who honor strength, draw closer, not because you chased them, but because your gravity shifted. Let's ground this in Stoic practice. Imagine you're in a relationship where your partner's dismissals have become routine. You suggest a plan, and they shrug, uninterested. You share a dream, and they change the subject. You feel the sting, but instead of pleading, you pause. You reflect. Does this honor my soul? If the answer is no, you don't lash out. You don't beg for change. You prepare to walk away. Maybe it's a conversation. "I need mutual respect," or "I can't stay." If nothing changes, you leave, calmly, head high. That act, that stoic courage, doesn't just protect you, it redefines you. This boundary transforms how others perceive you. A colleague who once overlooked you hesitates when your resolve shines through. A partner who tested your limits senses your unshakable core. Even strangers feel it. Your presence carries weight because you're not tethered to their validation. But the real victory is internal. Each time you walk away, you reclaim a piece of yourself. The man who begged, who settled, dissolves. The stoic titan emerges, undeniable in his quiet power. Don't confuse this with running from challenges. Stoics endure hardship, but only for what aligns with virtue. Staying in a soul-crushing environment isn't endurance, it's surrender. Nor is this about pride or ego. It's about clarity, knowing your worth and refusing to let it be eroded. The Stoic walks away, not to prove a point, but to live his truth. Reflect on Arjun's story. His departure wasn't loud, but it echoed. Colleagues who once ignored him sought his advice later. Opportunities opened because he honored his soul. This is the Stoic paradox. By releasing what doesn't serve you, you gain what does. Respect follows the man who chooses himself, not out of selfishness, but out of reverence for the life he's been given. As you practice this boundary, expect resistance. Fear will whisper, "What if you're alone? What if you fail?" Acknowledge it, but don't obey. Seneca would remind you, fear of the unknown is a shadow, not reality. The pain of staying where you're diminished far outweighs the uncertainty of leaving. Trust your stoic compass. Your values will guide you to firmer ground. Boundary 2. No emotional reactivity. Having forged the courage to walk away, we now strengthen our stoic shield with the second boundary. No emotional reactivity. Epictetus taught, there is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. This boundary isn't about suppressing emotions, it's about mastering them. A Stoic feels deeply, but responds only when it serves his purpose, commanding respect as an unshakable presence. Emotional reactivity is a thief. It steals your power the moment you let a sharp comment, a cold glance, or a subtle slight pull you off center. When you react, chasing, arguing, or scrambling to explain, you hand the reins of your soul to whoever provoked you. The world, knowingly or not, craves your reaction. Colleagues test your patience, friends prod your insecurities, and partners shift their tone to see if you'll flinch. Each time you do, respect erodes, not because others are cruel, but because they sense you're not the mountain they can lean on, but a leaf tossed by their wind. Picture Vikram, a marketing consultant at a high-stakes client meeting. A senior client, frustrated, laced her feedback with sarcasm, dismissing Vikram's strategy as uninspired. His stomach churned, his mind raced to defend his work. In the past, he'd have countered impulsively, escalating tension. But Vikram, guided by Epictetus's wisdom, paused. He observed his urge to react, let the tension sit, and responded calmly. I hear your concerns. Let's explore what's driving them. His steady presence shifted the room's energy. The client softened, and later, she praised his professionalism. Vikram's restraint didn't just save the meeting, it deepened his authority. This boundary is Stoic mastery in motion. Emotional sovereignty doesn't mean coldness. It means feeling every wave, but choosing which ones deserve your movement. Reactivity signals weakness. A man swayed by every gust is no anchor. But the man who stands still, who lets provocations pass unanswered, becomes a safe harbor. Others relax in his presence, not because he fights their storms, but because he doesn't add to them. Respect follows the man who owns his inner world. Warning signs of reactivity are clear if you look. Do you feel your pulse quicken when a colleague's critique stings, urging you to justify yourself? Do you chase a partner's withdrawn energy, texting or pleading to restore balance? Do you argue with a friend's careless remark, only to regret the wasted energy? These are moments where your soul's steering wheel slips. A Stoic notices, pauses, and reclaims control. Here's how you apply this boundary. First, cultivate the sacred pause. When provoked by a sarcastic jab, a dismissive tone, or a silent withdrawal, stop. Breathe. Feel the impulse to react, but don't obey it. Ask, does this deserve my energy? Second, observe your triggers. What makes you flinch? Fear of disapproval. Need to be understood. Name these shadows, as Epictetus would urge, and disarm them through reflection. Journaling or meditation can help. Third, respond, don't react. If a response is warranted, make it deliberate, calm, clear, purposeful. I don't appreciate that tone. Let's keep this respectful. If no response is needed, let silence speak. Silence isn't weakness, it's power. Epictetus's wisdom reminds us, we can't control others' actions, only our responses. The space between stimulus and response is where your strength is born. Imagine a partner testing you with a sharp remark. You never follow through. Your instinct is to defend, to list your efforts. Instead, you pause. You see the insecurity behind her words. You respond, let's discuss this calmly. What's on your mind? Or, if it's unwarranted, you say nothing, letting her words dissolve. Your stillness doesn't just diffuse the moment, it broadcasts your sovereignty. She senses a man who won't be moved by chaos, and respect deepens. This boundary reshapes how others engage you. A colleague who thrives on drama grows frustrated when you don't bite. A friend who provokes for attention learns to approach with respect. In relationships, a partner's tests, mood swings, withdrawals, lose their grip when you remain steady. She doesn't just calm, she leans closer, drawn to your clarity. This isn't manipulation, it's authenticity. You're not playing games, you're living your truth. The work isn't easy. Reactivity is wired into us, fueled by fear of rejection or need for validation. Dig deeper. Face the part of you that panics when misunderstood, that chases when others pull away. Tell it, you don't lead me anymore. Build this muscle through practice. Start small. Let an unanswered text sit. Ignore a petty slight. Walk away from a pointless argument. Each act of restraint strengthens your core, making calm your default. Vikram's story shows the reward. His client's respect wasn't won with clever rebuttals, but with disciplined presence. Later, colleagues sought his input, not because he demanded it, but because his calm commanded it. This is the Stoic paradox. By refusing to react, you gain influence. Your voice carries weight because it's measured. Your presence draws others because it's steady. Don't mistake this for apathy. A Stoic feels anger, hurt, or doubt. He just doesn't let them steer. Nor is this about faking calm. You can't plaster serenity over boiling insecurity. Confront your triggers, fear of abandonment, need to prove yourself, and own them. Through reflection, they lose their power. The man who masters this boundary doesn't just earn respect, he becomes a beacon. Chaos swirls, but he stands untouched, a king in his own mind. Boundary 3. Don't share too much. With emotional sovereignty anchoring our Stoic shield, we now craft the third boundary. Don't share too much. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This boundary isn't about secrecy, it's about strategic restraint. A Stoic reveals his soul slowly, like a sunrise, preserving mystery to command respect. Oversharing emotions or vulnerabilities dilutes your presence, turning depth into clutter. By mastering this, you become a man others lean toward, not lean on. In a world that equates openness with trust, sharing every fear, doubt, or wound feels noble. But consider the cost. When you pour out your inner world too soon, you risk becoming predictable, your allure fading. Others, friends, partners, colleagues, don't crave your full blueprint. They're drawn to your depth, the weight you carry quietly. Oversharing shifts you from protector to project, from a man of mystery to one seeking rescue. Respect wanes when there's nothing left to discover. Take Priya, a graphic designer building a friendship with a new colleague, Maya. Eager to bond, Priya shared her struggles, career insecurities, a recent rejection, hoping for closeness. Maya listened, but her warmth cooled. Priya's openness, meant to build trust, created emotional clutter. Maya began offering advice, not admiration, seeing Priya as someone to fix. Reflecting on Seneca's wisdom, Priya shifted. In later conversations, she shared a recent design success sparingly, letting Maya ask more. Her restraint sparked curiosity, and Maya's respect grew, drawn to Priya's quiet strength. This boundary is Stoic discipline in action. Emotional restraint doesn't mean hiding feelings. It means revealing them purposefully, like glimpses of a fortress, not an open gate. When you share every anxiety, you invite others to lead, to pity, or to withdraw. A Stoic feels deeply but moves carefully, integrating pain alone or with trusted few, ensuring his presence inspires, not burdens. Mystery fuels respect. Predictability kills it. Warning signs of oversharing are subtle but telling. Do you feel compelled to explain your setbacks to gain empathy, only to sense distance? In relationships, does your partner pull back when you confess doubts, her eyes losing their spark? At work, do colleagues shift from valuing your input to offering unsolicited fixes? These signal you've tipped from depth to exposure. A Stoic notices and adjusts, preserving the tension that keeps others engaged. Here's how you apply this boundary. First, know your inner treasure. Your emotions, struggles, and victories are sacred. Treat them as such. Ask, does sharing this strengthen my path or dilute it? Second, reveal in glimpses. Share a triumph, like a project completed, but hold back the full story. Let others lean in with questions. If asked about a setback, offer a measured truth. It was tough, but I'm navigating it. Third, cultivate solitude. Process your storms through journaling, meditation, or walks, as Seneca would advise. This builds resilience, so you share from strength, not need. Finally, let curiosity pull others in. When someone probes, answer briefly, leaving space for wonder. That's a story for another time. Can be more powerful than a full confession. Seneca's insight, suffering lies in imagination, applies here. We imagine sharing will forge bonds, but it often overwhelms. Imagine a partner asks about your day, and you unload a litany of frustrations. She nods, but her energy shifts. She's not closer, she's burdened. Instead, you say, challenging day, but I handled it. How about you? She leans in, curious, sensing your depth without wading through it. Your restraint doesn't push her away. It draws her closer, respecting your strength. This boundary transforms relationships. A colleague who once saw you as needy now values your measured insights. A friend who drifted when you overshared seeks your presence, intrigued by your calm. In romance, a partner senses your burdens, but trusts your ability to carry them, deepening her admiration. This isn't withholding, it's mastery. You're not hiding, you're curating your soul's light, letting it shine intentionally. Priya's shift illustrates the power. By sharing selectively, she became a beacon, not a burden. Maya didn't need Priya's full story to respect her. She needed her strength. When Priya later shared a small vulnerability, a tight deadline overcome, Maya listened intently, drawn to her resilience. This is the Stoic art. Reveal enough to inspire, not enough to overwhelm. Your story is treasure, not a brochure for all. The work requires discipline. Society pushes emotional exposure as authenticity, but Stoics know true authenticity is purposeful. Confront the urge to spill, fear of being unseen, need for validation, and tame it. Start small. Hold back one insecurity today. Share a win without explaining the struggle behind it. Notice how others respond. Their curiosity, their respect will grow. Over time, restraint becomes your nature, your presence a magnet. Expect challenges. The impulse to overshare is strong, especially when connection feels scarce. Others may prod, mistaking your restraint for aloofness. Stand firm. Seneca would remind you, reality, not imagined approval, is your guide. Your soul's depth is for the worthy, not the curious. As you practice, your energy shifts. You speak less, but your words land heavier. You share sparingly, but your presence looms larger. This boundary builds on walking away and non-reactivity, creating a man who controls not just his actions, but his essence. Respect flows to the man who offers glimpses of strength, not floods of struggle. Stay tuned for Boundary 4, where we tackle disrespect to further sharpen your Stoic edge. If this lesson deepens your presence, Drop "I choose my soul" in the comments, like this video, and subscribe to Stoic Pulse for more Stoic wisdom to live with radiant strength. Boundary 4. Never reward disrespect. With our soul's mystery preserved, we now sharpen our Stoic shield with the 4th boundary. Never reward disrespect. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." This boundary is about protecting your dignity in the face of slights, not with anger, but with calm, decisive clarity. A Stoic doesn't tolerate disrespect. He corrects it or walks away, teaching others his worth through action. Disrespect rarely arrives as a loud affront. It creeps in quietly. A dismissive remark, a belittling tone, an ignored boundary. Each time you excuse it, you hand others a blueprint to erode your value. Tolerating these moments doesn't preserve peace. It invites more violations. Respect is lost, drip by drip, when you swallow insults to avoid conflict, signaling your standards are negotiable. A Stoic knows every unaddressed slight widens the crack in your soul's foundation. Consider Raj, a teacher mentoring a community group. During a discussion, a member, Kiran, interrupted him with a sarcastic jab. "That's a bit basic, isn't it?" The group chuckled, but Raj felt the sting. In the past, he'd have laughed it off, fearing tension. Guided by Aurelius's wisdom, he paused, seeing the moment for what it was, a test of his dignity. Calmly, he said, "I value constructive input, Kiran. Let's keep this respectful." Kiran's smirk faded, and the group's attention sharpened. Later, Kiran apologized, and Raj's quiet strength earned the room's admiration. This boundary is Stoic self-respect in action. Disrespect doesn't always wear rage's mask. It's the colleague who undermines your idea in a meeting, framing it as a joke. It's the friend who dismisses your goals with a patronizing nod. In relationships, it's a partner's subtle dig. "You're overthinking again." That cuts deeper than they admit. These aren't accidents, they're probes, testing if you'll bend. A Stoic responds, not reacts, ensuring his worth is non-negotiable. Warning signs are subtle but clear. Do you feel a pang when someone's tone belittles you, yet brush it off as no big deal? Do colleagues interrupt you repeatedly, sensing you won't push back? In relationships, does your partner's silence after you set a limit feel like punishment? These are fractures in your dignity. Ignore them, and they define you. A Stoic notices, reflects, and acts decisively. Here's how you apply this boundary. First, recognize disrespect's forms. It's not just overt insults. Watch for interruptions, dismissive gestures, or veiled sarcasm. Second, respond immediately but calmly. Use clear, measured words. "That's not acceptable. Let's communicate respectfully." Your tone isn't angry. It's firm, like a line drawn in stone. Third, enforce consequences. If disrespect persists, don't argue or plead, act. Excuse yourself from the conversation, limit contact, or, as we learned, walk away. "I don't engage with disrespect" is enough. Finally, reflect on your role. Are you inviting slights by hesitating? Strengthen your presence through Stoic practice. Stand taller, speak slower, let your calm command attention. Aurelius's insight guides us. Distress comes from our judgment, not the external act. When someone disrespects you, the pain isn't their words. It's your choice to tolerate them. Imagine a friend mocks your new project. Good luck with that hobby. Your instinct is to justify or ignore. Instead, you pause, see the test, and respond. "I'm serious about this. let's keep it supportive. If they persist, you distance yourself not out of spite, but self-respect. Your action doesn't just correct them, it redefines you as a man who honors his soul. This boundary reshapes how others treat you. Colleagues hesitate before undermining a man who corrects calmly. Friends rethink their jabs when met with your steady gaze. In relationships, a partner senses your limits are real, her respect deepening as she sees your strength. Raj's story shows this power. His single, calm response didn't just silence Kiran, it shifted the group's dynamic. Members sought his guidance, drawn to his unshakable dignity. Respect follows the man who defends his worth without drama. The work is challenging, excusing disrespect feels easier. It's just their mood, we tell ourselves. But each excuse teaches others your boundaries are soft. Confront the fear of conflict, the need to be liked. Epictetus would urge you to focus on what's yours, your response, your dignity. Start small. Correct one slight today. When a coworker cuts you off, say, "Let me finish, please." When a friend's comment stings, address it. "That felt dismissive. Let's do better." Each act builds your stoic muscle, making clarity your default. Expect pushback. Some will test harder, mistaking your calm for weakness. Others may withdraw, uncomfortable with your strength. Let them. As Seneca would remind you, a good life prioritizes virtue over approval. Your soul's worth isn't negotiable. Over time, your presence shifts. Your voice carries weight. Your gaze holds power. People feel your boundaries before you speak, drawn to or deterred by your quiet resolve. Boundary 5. Guard your peace. With our dignity fortified against disrespect, we crown our stoic shield with the 5th boundary. Guard your peace. Seneca wrote, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." This boundary is the bedrock of a virtuous life. Peace isn't found. It's defended like a fortress through selective engagement and absence from chaos. A Stoic guards his inner calm to radiate strength, commanding respect as a man unshaken by the world's noise. Peace is not a gift handed to you. It's a choice forged in discipline. Without it, you're a man adrift, reacting to every slight, chasing validation, or drowning in drama that's not yours to own. Each moment you engage with nonsense, petty arguments, toxic demands, or fleeting provocations, you leak your peace, dulling your presence. Others sense this. A scattered mind earns no admiration, only pity. But the man who guards his peace stands as a beacon, his calm, a silent command that draws respect. Consider Anil, a project manager caught in a family group chat, spiraling with heated accusations over a reunion plan. Messages pinged relentlessly, each one a jab at his patience. In the past, Anil would have jumped in, arguing to prove his point, only to feel drained. Guided by Seneca's wisdom, he paused, recognizing the chaos as a thief of his calm. Instead of engaging, he muted the chat, saying, "I'll discuss this calmly tomorrow." His absence quelled the storm, and the next day, his family approached with newfound respect, drawn to his steady clarity. This boundary is Stoic serenity in action. Peace is your foundation. Without it, no relationship, career, or dream can stand firm. Others feel your scattered energy, your cheapened time, and they test you, knowing you'll bend. But a man who guards his peace is untouchable. He doesn't chase chaos. He lets it trip over itself. His presence shifts rooms, not because he speaks loudest, but because his calm speaks clearest. Warning signs of leaking peace are insidious. Do you feel drained after endless debates, with colleagues who thrive on conflict? Do you say yes to demands out of guilt, only to resent the cost to your clarity? In relationships, do you absorb a partner's drama, losing your center to fix theirs? These are breaches in your fortress. A Stoic notices, reflects, and seals them shut. Here's how you apply this boundary. First, define your peace. What restores your clarity? Solitude, exercise, a clean space. Make these non-negotiable. Second, be selective with access. Ask, does this person, conversation, or habit protect my peace or poison it? If it poisons, cut it out. No explanation needed. Third, practice absence. When chaos erupts, a heated argument, a manipulative text, step away. I'll address this when I'm ready, sets the tone. Fourth, curate your environment. Limit toxic media, choose uplifting company, and build routines that anchor you. Finally, embrace silence. Let unanswered messages sit. Let drama dissolve without your input. Silence isn't retreat, it's power. Seneca's wisdom reminds us, a good life prioritizes quality over endurance in chaos. Imagine a colleague's rant pulls you into a pointless debate. Your instinct is to counter, to win. Instead, you pause, see the futility, and say, I'll consider that, and respond later. You walk away, not to avoid, but to preserve your calm. Your restraint doesn't just end the conflict, it elevates your presence. Others notice a man who values his peace above petty victories, and respect follows. This boundary transforms interactions. Colleagues who thrive on drama falter when you don't engage. Friends learn to approach with substance, not complaints. In relationships, a partner's tests, silent withdrawals, emotional storms lose power when you remain steady. Anil's choice to mute the chat didn't just save his energy, it redefined him. His family, once chaotic, sought his input with care, drawn to his calm authority. This is the Stoic gift. By guarding your peace, you become a sanctuary others seek. The work is demanding. Society glorifies reactivity, passion mistaken for strength. Your impulse to fix, to argue, to prove yourself runs deep, fueled by fear of being irrelevant. Confront it. Epictetus would urge you to focus on what's yours. Your mind, your peace. Start small. Skip one unnecessary debate today. Decline a draining invitation without guilt. Leave a toxic thread unanswered. Each act reinforces your fortress, making peace your default. Expect resistance. Chaos-addicted people will push harder, mistaking your calm for indifference. Your own habits may rebel, craving the rush of engagement. Stand firm. Seneca's call to a good life guides you. Quality lies in clarity, not noise. Over time, your energy shifts. Your voice lowers. Your gaze steadies. Your presence commands without effort. The wrong people retreat, unable to breach your calm. The right ones draw near, seeking your light. Thank you for joining Stoic Pulse, where we forged unshakable respect through 5 Stoic boundaries: walking away, mastering reactivity, preserving mystery, rejecting disrespect, and guarding peace. Guided by Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, these rules, rooted in wisdom, build a life where your soul commands awe, not approval. Epictetus taught, you become what you give your attention to. By living these boundaries, you become a titan of virtue, like Sanjay, who transformed from tolerating slights to radiating strength through Stoic discipline. These boundaries aren't just defenses, they're declarations of your worth. Each choice, to leave chaos, stay calm, share selectively, stand firm, or protect your peace, shapes a presence that inspires. Now act. Embrace one boundary today. Pause before reacting. walk from toxicity, or guard your calm. As Seneca reminds us, a good life is crafted through deliberate virtue. Join our daily Stoic Pulse community. Subscribe for fresh wisdom. Like this video to affirm your resolve. Share it to uplift others, and comment, type, "I choose my soul." Your journey to a radiant, Stoic life continues. Stay virtuous, pulse with strength, and we'll see you next video.